November Finance Committee meeting. I would like to start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Move the cat. Okay. Next up is the approval of the minutes. I can only see who has a camera on. Am I the only finance committee meeting member? No, Pete's here and Rod's here. Okay. Excellent. I'd like to make a motion to approve the October meeting minutes for the Finance Committee. Okay. Thank you, Rod. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed say right. Any abstentions? Okay. Moving on to the fuel hedging report. So, take it away.
Good morning, Heidi. Thank you. Behind tab 2, you will find the diesel fuel hedging report as of September 30th. Year-to-date fuel purchased was $2,189,250 at an average cost per gallon of $1.38. Our hedging losses year-to-date have been $1,276,420, or an average of 80 cents per gallon. Our net fuel cost has been $3,465,670 with an average cost per gallon of $2.19. The budget was for $3,956,098 with an average cost per gallon of $1.99. We are favorable year-to-date by $490,428, or 12.4%, due to the lower fuel usage. Our hedging policy for 0 to 24 months is 90%. We are currently hedged at 89%, and the prior quarter was at 97%. For 25 to 36 months, our policy is maximum of 50% hedged. We are currently hedged at 29%, and the prior quarter we were hedged at 32%. Is there any questions on the fuel hedging report?
All of these challenges are all made through COVID, correct?
Correct.
Great. I don't have anything else other than that. Anybody else have questions?
Pretty straightforward.
Okay. Next up is the internal audit, quarterly internal audit for third quarter. Michelle.
Thank you. So our quarterly audit update, you'll find behind tab 3. For the first item on the report, you will see this was from December of 2017 audit, and the finding was a lack of succession planning for key roles. The recommendation was to establish a formal written succession planning for key roles. And the current status on this is that the talent management and succession planning process is in the design phase and will be implemented in Q1 of 2021. This has been pushed back by a quarter due to COVID. Item number 2 is in regards to bargaining unit employees do not receive key company policies. The recommendation was to provide all bargaining unit employees the administrative employees handbook and require a signed acknowledgement. Current update on this is that the handbooks for the administrative employees are completed and under review. The bargaining unit handbooks are to be completed by year end, and these will be printed and distributed as soon as the final review is complete. Estimated to be complete by Q1 of 2021. This has also been pushed back due to COVID. Item number 3 was in regards to the physical storeroom access, and the recommendation was to ensure storeroom assets are safeguarded through appropriate badge access and operating locks. The current update is that procedures are and forms are being finalized and are expected to be complete by the end of Q4 of 2020. Item number 4 was from the vendor management audit, and the finding was regarding documenting monitoring activities. The recommendation was for inspections to be performed for monitoring activities, and they should be tracked and documented to provide an audit trail for future use. Procedures are currently being developed and will be reviewed as part of SORTA's process improvement project in Q1 of 2021. Item number 5 was regarding vendor management as well. The finding was remediation process for non-compliant vendors. The recommendation was to introduce procedures and policies surrounding the issues process. Current status is that procedures are being developed and will be reviewed as part of SORTA's process improvement project in Q1 2021 as well. Item number 6 is from the June 2019 audit for attendance and leave policies. The finding was the bulk polar attendance policies, and the recommendation was to ensure all employees are subject to written attendance requirements. The current status of this item is that HR and Ops will work to create a bulk polar attendance policy for implementation. This is part of our current labor negotiations and may be delayed until negotiations are complete. Item number 7 is in regards to the IT infrastructure and vulnerability assessment, and the finding was regarding our network vulnerabilities. The recommendation was that systems and programs should be periodically reviewed to help ensure the proper configuration and patch levels to safeguard SORTA's systems. Current status is that the IT service management tool has been procured and we are on track. The tools to be set up in 2020 with scanning to begin in 2021. Item number 8 was also in regards to the IT infrastructure and vulnerability assessment. The finding was regarding high-risk network protocols. The recommendation was that management should investigate discontinuing the use of risky network protocols inside the SORTA environment. The current status of this is that we are on track. These protocols are removed through application upgrades. These are expected to be completed by the end of 2021. Item number 9 is regards to an audit from March of 2020, also for IT infrastructure and vulnerability. The finding was regarding our SSL sessions and strength. The recommendation was that management should adopt a standard for their encryption. After an encryption standard is adopted, management should ensure that it is implemented in all systems across the company. Current status of this is that it's on track. These encryption methods are removed through multiple projects and application upgrades. Item number 10 is also from the IT infrastructure and vulnerability assessment. The finding was the end-of-life systems. The recommendation was that a plan should be developed to have all remaining Windows Server 2003, Windows Server 2008 R2, and Windows 7 systems upgraded to newer supported operating systems. Current status of this is that the servers and Windows 7 upgrades will be completed in Q1 of 2021, and we currently have over 50% of our systems upgraded to Windows 10. Item number 11 is also from the IT audit. The finding was regarding the default or guessable SNMP community names. The recommendation was if SNMP is not needed, management should investigate the possibility of disabling it for externally facing devices. The current status is that this is on track and will be complete in 2021. Item number 12 is also regarding the IT audit. The finding was around our documentation. The recommendation was that SORTA management should investigate implementing policies, procedures, or guidelines that address, at minimum, the following concerning network infrastructure. Current status that this is on track and complete. The tool has been acquired and we will still be continuously using it for building and updating our documentation. Item number 13, also regarding IT. The finding was logging and network management tools. The recommendation was that SORTA should investigate implementing a security information and event management tool to assist with the aggregation of security logs and monitoring network security. The current status is that we are on track. The system was procured with the ITSM tool, and deployment work will begin later in 2020 for completion in 2021. Item number 14, also regarding IT, the finding was regarding a ticket system. The recommendation was that SORTA should investigate implementing a ticketing system for IT-related issues. The status is that we are on track. The system was procured with the ITSM tool, and deployment work will begin later in 2020 for completion in 2021. Number 15 was regarding our maintenance audit that was just completed in September, and it was regarding our estimated labor costs. The recommendation was that SORTA should include estimated labor costs for work orders. The current status is due to COVID-19. Our quarterly Optum maintenance meeting for Q3 was canceled. Q4 2020, we will contact other transit authorities in the Optum maintenance group via email and telephone in an effort to gather information on their best practices. Number 16, also in regards to the maintenance audit, the finding was around policy and procedure review. The recommendation was that SORTA should perform a review of policies and procedures as frequently as management deems necessary to maintain the most up-to-date versions. Current status, we will implement a monthly review team beginning in Q1 of 2021 to start a regular review update process of all SOPs and policies. And the last item is number 17, also regarding the maintenance audit from September. The finding was around our foreman and mechanic training. The recommendation was to consolidate a detailed training history that lists the classes attended and completion date for each individual, including a note whether that individual's requirements are met to date or not. Current status, as part of our contract negotiations, we are investigating new training programs and tracking systems to implement for training needs. This will be an ongoing process that will evolve throughout 2021. And that is the current status of all of the current audit items. Any questions on that?
No, I'm looking forward to the next quarterly update where so many of these have turned green because it looks like there's a lot ending in by the end of this year and the first quarter of next year.
That's correct.
So that'll be great.
Other
Who's leading the succession plan? Is that internally or is that a collaboration between HR and Adrian and outside people?
Adrian is leading it internally. She's on the line. Adrian, do you want to address it any further?
Hi, good morning. Yes, so it is an internal effort that will start. We've already really started it. It's about implementation right now. We've got some time constraints with COVID, but it will be done internally to start.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian.
Yeah, I'd just like to say good job. It's good to see the progress you're making, and very well.
Thank you.
Anything else on the audit report? Okay. Moving on to the financial reports for October.
Great. Thank you, Heidi. Behind tab 4, you will find the financial results for the 10 months ending October 2020. We'll start off with some good news. As everyone is aware, the the revenue for the county sales tax started in October. It is about $7.1 million, and we'll be taking that to capital to create a capital reserve to shore up our capital deficit that we will have going forward. CPS service began the second week of October for in-classroom learning after a lot of back and forth. The city of Cincinnati also passed an ordinance for Free Beer Day for November 3rd on Election Day, so that was exciting news for us as well. Some of the challenges we face going forward is that COVID cases continue to rise. It creates a lot of uncertainty for CPS and the in-classroom learning. We will continue to work with CPS, and we are in constant contact with them in order to be able to respond quickly to their changing needs. The investment income is expected to remain unfavorable due to lower than anticipated interest rates, and the advertising revenue will continue to be unfavorable due to budget with the bench and shelter advertising. Hopefully that will recover after the COVID downturn. First, total revenue of $3.1 million was unfavorable to budget by $5,081,000 or 62%. Total expense of $8.4 million was favorable to budget by $234,000 or 2.7%. Operating deficit for the month before using CARES funds to balance was $5,268,000. Funds from the CARES Act of $5,268,000 were used to balance the operating budgets in October and $13,113,000 year to date. Total operating results before balancing with available funds were unfavorable by $4,847,000 for the month and unfavorable $8,903,000 year to date. Some of the most significant factors driving the results for October was fair revenue was unfavorable to budget by $621,000 or 41%. CPS contract was unfavorable to budget by $333,000 or 36% due to the delay in in-classroom learning. Non-transportation revenue was unfavorable to budget by $105,000 or 59%, primarily due to investment income being unfavorable by $54,000 and advertising income being unfavorable by $41,000. The transit fund was unfavorable to budget by $3,887,000 or 95% due to the transition of funding from the city funding to the county sales tax. Employee wages and benefits were favorable by $76,000 or 1%, primarily due to lower operator wages as a result of reduced hours directly tied to the delay of in-classroom learning. Capital reserves was 100% of the estimated county sales tax revenue we recorded as capital revenue in order to reduce the capital deficit by setting up a capital reserve for bus and infrastructure expenditures going for the remainder of 2020 and into 2021. Are there any questions on the financials?
So it's exciting to see the county sales tax revenue, and that we're able to track that, but also just want to acknowledge we won't actually be able to draw down those funds until January. Is that correct?
That is correct. And they will automatically send. The difference with the county sales tax too is those funds will be automatically sent to us by the state, unlike before where we had to request those funds from the city.
Yeah. So we're able to, just for people who are watching and listening, so we're able to just track them now, but we won't see them until January.
Correct. And we are using an estimate at this time.
Great. That's helpful.
Two quick questions. First, the city says a Bear Free Day. How do they compensate us for that? And second, the advertising fees always seem to be revenue seems to be down. Is that because our expectations are too high, or is it just a very hard market for us to crack?
I'll address the advertising first. Yes, with COVID, the advertising has taken a large hit because of COVID. A lot of the companies in the area have pulled back on their marketing dollars. So we had budgeted based off at the beginning of the year, based off of normal circumstances. So if we're going into 2021, we have adjusted that budget correctly to accommodate the current environment. And regarding the free fare for the city, that was split. The city passed an ordinance, city council did, and they will be paying $12,500 towards our fare that day, and the DeVoe Foundation is paying the remainder, $11,500.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Veterans Day is Veterans Ride free, correct?
That is correct.
Do we pay for that? SORTA pays out of expense for that, or how does that pay for?
Yes, we will be paying for that.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other questions on the October financial? Okay. Moving on to our action items. The investment of funds report for October.
Thank you, Heidi. Behind tab 5, you will find the investment of funds report for the month ending October 31st, 2020. SORTA's cash and investment balance was $44,168,359, yielding a return of 15 basis points and average days to maturity of 20 days. The investment income for the month of October was $6,485 and $165,086 year to date. The decrease in cash from September to October of $9,033,298 was due mostly to the timing of the sales tax receipt, which we accrued for in October but will not receive until January, as well as benefit payments of about $852,000. That is the investment of funds report for October month end. Any questions?
Questions? Have questions? make a motion to approve the investment of funds report for October.
Second.
Thank you, Peter. And motion's been seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say right. Any absent? Okay. Moving on from the investment of funds report to approval of legal expenditures with Voorhees. Donna.
Good morning, Heidi.
Good morning.
How are you? This morning there are two motions on your agenda for legal services. The first one is for Voorhees, Sater, Seymour, and Pease. I'm sure you are all aware that Ms. Schaefer is providing legal services to us. Voorhees provides general counsel, board, litigation, real estate, contract procurement, almost everything except employment matters. They've been doing this since 2008, and this proposed motion is to authorize staff to again sign a rep letter with Voorhees. The current rate is $3.20 per hour, and they have agreed to maintain that through calendar year 21. The motion also authorizes us to spend up to, and this is just a budgeted number, it's not that we have to spend it, it's just your authorization, for up to $250,000 in 21. Last year's budget was $240. I've increased it slightly, a 4% increase to cover new board members. They do service your council, as well as infrastructure items and the switch to a sales tax. But again, it is just a budgeted number. Any questions on that one? No? Okay. The second motion is also for legal services. This is with Dinsmore and Scholl. Dinsmore provides employment counsel for us, basically litigation and things like that. They've been providing these services since 1983. Their rate is the same at $3.20 per hour, and they also have agreed to maintain that through calendar year 21. The budget for Dinsmore for next year, we have decreased to a maximum of $100,000. We believe that we have hired a labor attorney who will be handling a lot of issues that will no longer have to go to Dinsmore. So we've decreased this to a maximum of 100. So again, this is asking your approval to sign a rep letter with Dinsmore, as well as authorization to spend up to $100,000 next year. Any questions?
Do you have an in-house labor attorney now? SORTA?
Yes, she just started Monday, I believe.
Oh, okay. What's her name?
Jennifer Jackson.
Jennifer Jackson, yes. Jennifer joins us from Cleveland RTA. So she's been working in this space in public transit in the state for more than a decade. So very happy to have Jennifer. And thank you to HR for attracting the candidate.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome, Jennifer. I don't have any questions. Other board members, do you have questions around Voorhees or Dinsmore? Okay. Chanel, I'm assuming we need to do two separate motions, or can we do these together?
Heidi, I believe you can do these together, and if you would like to add them on the consent agenda, let me know.
That is exactly what I would like to do. Do you need me to actually say the words, or does that work?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll put these on the consent agenda at the full board meeting. But right now I'd like to make a motion to approve the legal expenditures with Voorhees, as well as the legal service expenditures with Dinsmore.
Second.
Thank you, Thaddeus. Motion has been seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say right. Any abstentions? Okay. Those will go on the consent agenda for the board meeting next week. And then it looks like we have one final resolution for the 2021 insurance program renewal.
Thank you, Heidi. Behind tab 8, you will find the general liability insurance program renewal. We are seeking approval of a resolution authorizing the CEO, general manager, or the CFO to execute a one-year renewal of the current 11-month program that expires on November 30th with the Ohio Transit Risk Pool, otherwise known as OTRP, on behalf of SORTA for general liability insurance for the period beginning December 1st, 2020 through November 30th, 2021, at a cost not to exceed $660,705. As you'll see, I'll give you a quick update on the program. The objectives is to review the areas of risk mitigated by Metro's current risk management program and to make a recommendation to renew the participation in the Ohio Transit Risk Pool for consideration and approval. Our current risk management program includes general liability, auto liability, public officials liability, cyber liability, and crime, all fall under the Ohio Transit Risk Pool. Excess workers' compensation and property coverage are two separate policies that we will be bringing to the board in December. You'll see that the self-insured retention for the liability program is $1 million, and that continues to cover the general liability, automobile, public officials, cyber, and crime. Total cost for the liability program in 2020 was $549,779, with a stop-loss funding of $75,000. This we are paying over a 7-year period, so 2020 was the first year that we joined the pool. 2021 will be the second year, so that $75,000 will still be required. The new cost for 2021 for the liability program is $585,705, for a difference from year over year of $35,926, or 7%. Total liability premiums, including the stop loss fund for 2021, will be $660,705, for a total increase of 6% year over year. Just some general commentary is we'll continue to include our membership in the OTRP. We have $10 million in coverage, and it provides an appropriate amount of risk protection based on our size and our claims history. As I mentioned, our deductible will remain $1 million, and this is in line with our peers, and this is the same as last year. A 7% premium increase is due to our loss history. Market conditions. Just a quick reminder of what the Ohio Transit Risk Pool is. It's a risk-sharing pool formed in the 1990s. There's currently 12-member transit agencies in Ohio. The shock loss fund is equal to 1 year premium, and that was set back in for the for the end of 2019 year. If a loss year has a surplus, funds are returned after the loss year is closed. This is unlike your traditional general liability policies. Our self-insured retention can be adjusted lower at renewal time if we choose to, and it can go as low as $5,000 per occurrence. Are there any questions on this?
I don't have any questions. Does anybody else? Okay. With that, I will make a motion to approve the 2021 insurance program renewal.
Second.
Thank you, Peter. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed say right. Any abstentions? Okay, and we'll put that on the consent agenda as well. And with that, oh, I interrupt somebody. it over to planning and operations. I guess we will adjourn, then we'll hand it over to planning. Thank you all.